The Supreme Court has reserved its order in the Sena versus Sena case. But will Uddhav Thackeray's decision to step down as Chief Minister before facing a floor test prove to be too costly? Why are we saying that? Because of the oral observations made by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, how can we reinstate someone who did not face a floor test? Now, Uddhav Thackeray resigned as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra after the governor said that he needs to face a trust vote. Even before he faced that trust vote, he resigned as Chief Minister. Now, the court is saying perhaps Uddhav Thackeray would have had a far stronger case to come to the court with if the floor test would have gone through, and even if Uddhav Thackeray had lost the floor test, the court suggesting that it would have had a far more strong case for Uddhav Thackeray to come to the court saying that these were the MLAs, this is how they voted against his government. Since that data is now not going to be available, since Uddhav Thackeray didn't face that floor test, will this one decision of Uddhav Thackeray end up being too costly for him? A day before this, the court also had some strong words and observations about the conduct of Maharashtra's previous governor, B.S. Koshyari. There were oral observations, and I'm going to read some of those. What the Supreme Court essentially said, and I quote, "The governor should not enter any area which precipitates the fall of a government. People will start ditching the ruling party and the governor will end up toppling the ruling party. This will be a sad spectacle for democracy. The difference of opinion among MLAs within a party can be on any ground, like payment of development fund or deviation from party ethos. But can that be a sufficient ground for the governor to call for a floor test?" asked the Supreme Court. Now, how did it come to this? In 2022, in November 2022, the MVA was already in power for about 2.5 years. Uddhav Thackeray was the Chief Minister who was leading a coalition government of the NCP, the Congress and the Shiv Sena. At that time, the Shiv Sena that Uddhav Thackeray was leading. Eknath Shinde was very much a part of that government. But suddenly, Eknath Shinde ran away with almost 34 MLAs, and he said that he has no longer got any confidence and he doesn't want to continue with this alliance. Now, the governor called for a floor test. Uddhav Thackeray resigned before that because he knew he didn't have the numbers. And that's also something that the Supreme Court has touched upon. The Supreme Court said, 3 years you cohabited in an alliance and then one fine day you decided for divorce. The rebel MLAs become ministers in another dispensation. The governor has to ask these questions to himself. What were you fellows doing for such a long time? And now suddenly you want a divorce. The governor must be conscious that calling for a trust vote may lead to the toppling of the government, said the Chief Justice of India.